Okay, I make it 6:30 and we'll call the October meeting of the Van Alstyne City Council to order. We will begin with item 2, invocation and pledges of allegiance. Councilman Neal has agreed to give the invocation, and we have some special guests who are going to lead us in the pledges.
Let's bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and for the beautiful weather that we've been getting over the past week or so. We just pray that you watch over our business tonight, this council, the decisions that we make. We just pray for our first responders in the city, what they do day in and day out to serve this city, serve the citizens, and protect the citizens. We just thank you for that. We thank you just for what we have here, this community that is as one together, growing together, and we just pray that we all will treat each other accordingly. God, we just lift you up. We give you the glory in all that we do. We thank you in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. We'll start with the pledge to the American flag. Scouts, if y'all want to come up forward and be seen, we would invite all of you to come forward and lead us in the pledges. Okay, whenever you're ready, we'll join in.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you very much. I appreciate y'all being here. You didn't know we were going to put you to work. Item 3 on our agenda, as soon as they get settled, is our presentations. 3A is a proclamation. I do not see Ashley here yet. I think she's busy, so we'll get out. Whoop, there you are. Sorry, I missed you. Okay, so we have a presentation. I will have actually gave it to her in front of her people. But it is with great pleasure and sincere appreciation that I, Jim Atchison, Mayor of Van Alstyne, extend this letter of recognition to you, Miss Ashley Hignum, for your outstanding contributions to our community throughout the operation of the Railcar Farmers Market. In a time when access to nutritious, locally sourced food is more important than ever, your dedication to fostering a vibrant marketplace has made a profound impact on the health and well-being of our citizens. The Railcar Farmers Market stands as a beacon of fresh, wholesome produce and goods, providing residents with convenient opportunities to obtain high-quality, healthy foods that support active lifestyles and family nourishment. Your efforts ensure that families in Van Alstyne have consistent access to seasonal fruits, vegetables, meats, and other farm-fresh items, promoting better eating habits and strengthening our community's commitment to wellness. Equally commendable is the platform you've created for our local vendors. By curating a space where artisans, farmers, and small business owners can showcase and sell their homemade products, baked goods, crafts, and more, you've empowered entrepreneurs to connect directly with their neighbors. This not only bolsters our local economy, but also cultivates a sense of pride and unity, allowing vendors to turn their hard work into sustainable livelihoods while enriching the cultural fabric of Van Alstyne. On behalf of the City of Van Alstyne and its grateful residents, thank you for your visionary leadership and unwavering passion. The Railcars Farmers Market is a testimony to what community-driven initiatives can achieve, and we look forward to your continued success in nourishing both body and spirit in our great city. Make my way down front, and Mike is prepared to take another picture or two.
Now that I'm not sweat-filled.
Gotta be in your element though.
That's right. Beautiful, beautiful. Great, thank you. Thank you. Well done.
Thanks,
Keep up the great work. Item 3B, receive a presentation from Herschel Ken Kendrick on a construction plans and progress for property located at 211 East Marshall Street Van Alstyne. Mr. Gendrick, thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you for inviting me. I want to thank the City Council for inviting me here this evening. When we started this project, we knew it was an old building, but we didn't realize it was 130 years old. It was always referred to by everybody as the old feed store. I learned a lot about the history of it through the Van Alstyne Historical Society, and also John House, who was the owner of the hardware store across the street. I loved going in there and talking to him, and he could tell me all kinds of things about the town of Van Alstyne, because I was fairly new here. I've only been here about 30 years. When the feed store became available and we purchased it, we said that it'd be a nice building, but it needed a lot of repairs and a lot of things had to be done to it. What the original plan was is that when we were looking at it was to have like a rental space on the first floor and then an apartment or something upstairs to rent out, to keep people here in town. And when we started the project, the first thing we did was, we removed the wood floor for the second on the second floor, and we took all the wood out of the roof and everything. We put in a concrete slab and put steel for the second floor and steel for the roof, and put a metal roof on the building. And then after that, we got started working on the brick. The design of the building is basically, it's a two-story building with the bottom floor being 4 layers of brick. This second floor is 3 layers. Nice configuration, worked out well. And so when we started out, there was a wainscot, a veneer coat of concrete on it. We started taking that off, doing tuck pointing on the building and everything. And we noticed a lot of cracks in the brick, and we had to replace some bricks, and we got to see inside the building, and there was a lot of damage on the inside of the building. Much more so than I think we never realized it was that bad. So what we did was went inside the building, opened up like some 5x5 areas. You can't open them up all at one time. You got to do it section by section by section because you don't want the building to fall down. So once we started taking that interior brick off, we found nothing but a disaster on the inside. It was much worse than I ever anticipated. And I don't know if anybody here knows a lot about masonry, but I'm not a masonry guy, but I know what sand brick is. And the bricks were all had too much sand in the mixture when they were made. The mortar had too much sand. So any water that got through the concrete veneer got into the building and washed a lot of that out, and which really made the building unsafe. So at that point we had a decision to make, and it was either tear the building down or try to repair it. I found a gentleman who was knowledgeable about older buildings. He had worked on several communities around this area, and he started working on it. But the speed of the work is so slow because you're doing such a small area at one time. You're basically taking out 3 layers of brick with the exterior brick on the outside, cleaning that out, and then putting a new brick back in. Let me give you an example.
You have show and tell.
Well, show and tell, and I have plenty of samples. So please look at them, and as you can tell, some of the brick, a lot of spots. I mean, they're not perfect. They're 130 years old, so, and they're very sandy. You can see. I've got a whole bucket here of pieces and sand, so if anybody needs any, let me know. The repairs, is basically done in 5 4 or 5, depends upon how bad the brick is inside. And you have to be so careful, you can't take out big sections because, just like the storm we had a couple of weeks ago, I mean, if we took out a bunch of sections at one time, the building would have fell in. So, you know, we're going back and we're installing a new brick, new mortar, and also we're adding rebar about every 2 or 3 feet in the building horizontally to tie the whole thing together. And we're tying the steel, which is already in the building, to the brick to further secure it. The one thing that I know everybody's wondering about is how long is it going to take? My wife asks me that all the time. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, it really depends on how the area is that we're taking out and replacing. Some areas go really quick, and some areas go really slow. And it's actually, I go by there every day to check and see what's going on, and I'm just amazed that the building hasn't been further damaged by high winds and everything else. Especially at the corners, we're tying all the corners back together the way they should be done. You know, not that, you know, those guys back in those days, 130 years ago, they did a great job. The building's lasted a long time. So we're just trying to build on what's there. We want to maintain the building in its, as close as we can to its original shape to add to the community and give someone a place to live there as well. So that's basically it. Does anyone?
Thank you, Mr. Kendrick. I
Okay.
think you were about to ask, I was about to ask you, would you entertain a question or two?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay, anybody from council have a question, comment?
I do.
Yes, sir.
So when was the date that you actually hired the crew that's there now? What was the date of hire?
Like 2 years ago.
And how many hours a week do you think they're out there working on it?
40 hours.
They come in on Saturday and Sundays?
No.
Because my office is right there. I don't see them there 40 hours a week. That's why I'm asking you that part to see, are you aware that they're not actually there 40 hours a week?
I go by there quite a bit myself, so I know how much they're working.
Okay. So do we have we don't have a time frame still?
No. As quickly as possible.
Okay, so how's this fitting in with the new ordinance about timelines and permits and all that? How's that working?
Mr. Kendrick received a permit approximately a week or 2 ago. We had to revisit the permitting processes and get him up to speed with his contractor registration and so forth and so on, and plans reviewed by Bureau of Veritas. So he's subject to the permit expiration ordinance that was passed by council a meeting or 2 ago.
What was the timeline? 90? Was it 90?
There's 180.
180, yeah.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Renewable,
Yeah.
Yes.
with some dialogue with the city.
Yeah.
Not automatically renewable, but the city has the option to renew.
Also, I forgot to mention that we did have a structural engineer come out and examine the building and give us a report on it. Because I'm sure there's other buildings in town that have the same problems. That's something we need to be aware of. And,
Hopefully not this one.
I hope not.
Anything else? Mr. Jones?
Ken, when might we expect to see the building that faces the lower level on the side of the building that faces Marshall, that storefront replaced?
When we get done with the brick, we gotta get some steel in there for the second floor, and then we'll be able to do the entranceway.
What's the intent for the first floor?
A rental, a storefront for some business, office, or, we've been approached by several different people about renting it. So I think it'll be a good rental place when we get it done. something that draws people into town would be nice.
And still residential upstairs?
And still residential upstairs. There'll be 2 separate entranceways, so it won't interfere with the facilities downstairs.
I guess I'm unsure of the point of the presentation if we still don't have anything concrete. There's nothing saying an idea of time. We're still, like we have been for years now. I get all the complaints because I'm right downtown too. So this is not giving us any new information. Everything is still, we don't know.
Well, ma'am, I don't know how much you know about construction. I've been in it for like 50 years. And, you know, when you're doing something that's unknown, it's hard to put a date on it. Every date I've given so far has been wrong. And, I'm giving you my best guess. I don't know how long it's going to take. And if you could tell me how much work I'm going to have when I take the interior wall off, I can tell you how long it's going to take. But you can't do that.
Let me approach it from a slightly different engineer perspective. Can you estimate % complete?
I would say
as far as
on
square footage or something like that.
I would estimate right now on the brick we're about 75% done.
Okay.
That's for the entire building,
Yes,
not just the second floor?
not the entire inside the building, having it redone. Yeah.
Well, that was gonna be, what I was gonna say is, I mean, you have a percentage that you can estimate based on how much work you've done and what the total square footage of the building
Right.
is, so.
Yeah.
Not knowing what the next 25% holds.
Not knowing what
I
the next
understand
25% holds. To be honest with you, we had one corner that went really well, and we had one corner that went really bad. When we started checking and seeing, the walls were not tied in together at the corners. So
That's scary.
we had to take extra care, and how we did that, we could only do a small section at a time. And it's a very complex operation when you start taking bricks out of the middle of a wall, and how many can I take out without it falling?
Another life-size Jenga.
Yeah, so once that is 100% done and the brick is done, a better question is how long from that point to being done and ready to rent out? Because everything else would just be your front end and then
The
inside.
front end of the building, the steel in the walls for the second floor, we're probably talking 6 months. Is what I would estimate.
After
After the
the
brick gets done,
25%?
yeah.
Okay.
When is the last time they worked on the exterior? That scaffolding's been there a long time.
It's been a long time, yes, because we've been concentrating on, you can't really do anything on the outside of the area until you get the inside fixed. The building can fall down.
Then why is the scaffolding up way ahead
It's to
of time?
protect anybody in the area if the building did fall down, so they wouldn't get hurt. That's why the scaffolding on the outside of the building. We don't want to expose anybody to any hazard. I've been in construction a long time. I've seen people die from construction accidents, and we don't want anything to happen on this site.
You have had bricks fall before, right?
Yes, we have. And the building was shaking quite a bit the other day when they were running the vibrator on the street, but it was a short time and nothing was damaged or nothing fell.
To complicate matters, I've been told that you share a common wall with Romano's next door, or is it a totally separate building?
No, it's a common wall, yes. Yeah.
Okay, I appreciate you fixing the part in common as well. Is that part complete?
The bottom part is, we still have a little bit to do at the top up by where the roof is.
Okay. Any other questions or comments from council?
I have one more.
Yeah.
Ken, when you get the exterior of the building done, will you replace the original artwork that was on the exterior of the building facing Jefferson?
Well, we've talked about that.
Preston, excuse me.
Yeah, on that side of the building, yeah. We've talked about it, and I would go back to the city and say, hey, what would you like to see there? Because we've had, everybody has an opinion about it. Put it back the way it was. Well, how far do you go back? There's some old pictures of the building that, show different stuff on it. It would be something that I'd get with the city and say, hey, what would you like to have there?
Okay, I got it. Thank you. That's the answer I want.
Yeah. So thanks for being here tonight. Appreciate your ongoing dialogue with the city. When this was a standalone project, it was cosmetic, and it was, I'm sure you're more anxious than we are to see it done. But now that the city is also doing construction in the area, I know that complicates your life and our life as well with construction about to start on Marshall Street.
But I do appreciate the cooperation we've had with the city. It makes it easier when you get somebody working with you instead of against you.
Yep. Okay, thank you, Ken. That concludes item 3, excuse me. We are focusing on using our microphones tonight. Item 4 on our agenda is public testimony. This is an opportunity for members of the public to address the council on any item they wish to do so. I have one public comment form from Mr. Stephen DeLuna on South Ridge Drive. General statement on growth. You will have 3 minutes. The council may ask a question or two. You're not obligated to answer. Stephen.
All right. Good evening, Mayor, council members, and city staff. My name is Stephen DeLuna. I'm proud to call myself a Van Alstyne, however you will say it. I have lived here since 2018. I moved to this area. My brother has been a part of this community for a lot longer than I have, and I loved everything about the city when I came home to visit and decided to put roots down here myself. I want to take a moment tonight to express my support for smart, balanced growth in our city, the kind that brings opportunities, stability, and long-term strength to our community. Growth is coming, and especially all around us, where there's lots of agenda items about growth and things like that. I would love to see things come to our city, such as restaurants, family-oriented businesses, and mixed-use developments. Things that will not only serve the residents, but draw in visitors. We've done a lot of work into our downtown area, and I would love to see more people come in and see what great things Van Alstyne has to offer. I would also like the kind of businesses that generate strong sales tax revenue and help fund the city services that we all rely on. As we continue to grow, it's important that we also plan carefully for our infrastructure and utilities like water, sewer, roads, and emergency services. We need to make our capital improvement plans and utility systems keep pace with development so we don't outgrow our capacity or stretch out our services too thin. I also understand that not everyone in our community feels comfortable with growth, but I believe in transparency and open communication from the city will go a long way toward building understanding and trust. When residents can see the reasoning behind decisions and understand the benefits, it creates confidence that we're all moving forward together. I want to thank you all for your time, your effort, and your energy that you all put into leading Van Alstyne through our season of change. I appreciate your dedication and look forward to seeing our city continues to grow and thrive in the years ahead. So essentially what I'm saying is I appreciate what it is that we're doing. I believe in civil discourse with everybody as long as it's truthful, it's honest, and people come with the right heart. As city members, you all take the brunt of all the comments that people have to say on a daily basis, and it's never easy to see that stuff, but I am an advocate and supporting those people who are honest and truthful and also help the community. From either side, whether they are for or against something, I believe it's necessary to make our community strong. So again, thank you, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Stephen. We appreciate those comments. Item 5 on our agenda is public hearings. We have one item for public hearing tonight. We're going to conduct a public hearing and consider and act upon an ordinance rezoning approximately 8.1 acre tract of land from commercial district, office, light, retail, and neighborhood services to planned development district with an underlying designation of commercial district, office, light, retail, and neighborhood services in order to modify development standards to allow for a church, rectory, place of worship, parentheses, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Legal description of G-0851 McKinney Ashley A-G0851 acres 8.105 generally located on the northwest corner of Waco Street and Village Parkway. Alex, do you have anything you want to add to the video or to add to that?
Thank you very much, Mayor. So I'll just provide some brief comments about the proposed rezoning request for this evening prior to the public hearing. The 8 acres that you mentioned is located at the northwest corner of Village Parkway and Waco Street, as shown here surrounded in yellow. I will note that the Church of Latter-day Saints has owned the property for a period of time, and the property currently is zoned Commercial 1. The request this evening is to rezone it to a planned development, really for two reasons. Number one, to allow for additional height for the building and steeple, and number two, to allow for alternative screening on the north property boundary only. So those are the two factors that are up for consideration this evening. By way of an overview of the proposed development, you have the 21,000 square foot church building that does face Waco. The church is originally we're proposing to replace the western fences along the Georgetown subdivision with wood fence and living screening. But after some public hearing, notice reply forms, and some dialogue at the Planning and Zoning Commission, the church has opted to construct a decorative concrete wall along the western property line, in addition to some landscaping, and then that wall would be painted to be a compatible color with the existing screening wall along Village Parkway in the Georgetown subdivision. The church is working with the HOA, the Georgetown HOA president, on the arrangements for that wall replacement. I'll also note on the north there is an existing house, and so as opposed to constructing the wall along the north, the church is proposing the wooden fence and landscape along the north to screen from that particular house. Staff is also recommending a relocation of the dumpster enclosure that you can see there that was originally been oriented close to the neighborhood. The church is agreeable to moving that, relocating that away from the neighborhood at the time that they go to site plan. In terms of the building height that I mentioned, the current C1 district allows a max height of 25 feet. The church is proposing a 32-foot tall roof line, and the zoning ordinance also allows a maximum steeple height of 10 feet over the maximum roof height, which would be 35 feet. In this case, the church is proposing a 70-foot steeple, which is consistent with other churches in the area.
Clarification on that, the total height is 70 feet, is that correct?
Yes, sir. I apologize if I misspoke. The total height of the church from ground to the top of the steeple is 70 feet. This is the landscape plan we received today. A little bit grainy on this, but it does show some of the interior landscaping that's going to be provided, as well as some of the landscaping along the western property line. While this exhibit does fail to have the landscaping along the north, the church has indicated that they will be providing landscaping with the wooden fencing that I noted a moment ago, with the wood fence along the north property line. You have received 5 public hearing notice reply forms, which are included in your packet, 4 of which are in support of the request. 2 of those were conditional with a masonry screening wall, which has been provided, and you did receive 1 letter in opposition to this request. The Planning and Zoning Commission did recommend unanimous approval of the rezoning, subject to the conditions that have been included here on the screen. All those standards have been incorporated into the PD zoning request that you have in your packet, and the church has reviewed those and is in agreement with each of those as well. So with that, staff recommended approval, and we do have numerous representatives from the church in attendance this evening to address the council. One of whom I believe may have driven up from San Antonio to be here with you this evening.
Excellent. Thank you, Alex. Any questions for Alex at this point before we go to public hearing? Any questions from the council? Okay. Any of the applicants want to add anything at this time to what we've heard from city staff? Or you can wait till public comments and see if there's anything to which you wish to respond at that time. Okay, seeing no one, now is the time for public comments for this requested zoning change. You do not have to have filled out a yellow card for this because it is a public hearing as required by the state and our ordinance. Would anyone like to address council regarding this request for the zoning change? Second call for comments or questions from the public. Yes, sir.
Would there be a sidewalk that would continue to the park on the far side of the structure? I see a sidewalk going from Village Parkway into the actual parking lot. But would that continue all the way to the park? Because that kind of seems to cut off access to the giant public park that we just got done building from the other side of Georgetown there.
Alex, I'm gonna,
There will be a sidewalk along Village Parkway.
is the question along Highway 5?
Yeah, it's not necessarily among Highway 5 there, be able to cross that long distance over there.
Okay, I think
Right now,
Mr.
people walk across they actually walk across the grass to get over there. I live right there in Georgetown, so I see it every day. They walk
On the west
that way.
side of Highway
So I was just trying to figure out, to make sure that they're not having to walk on Highway 5,
Yeah,
so, you know, for a safety reason.
appreciate that. Yeah, good comment. Do we have any question? Alex, did you want
In
to?
addition, I'm informed we have I guess a grant with TxDOT to extend a shared use path up the west side of Waco Street North and to connect into Hines Park.
Thank you, Alex. Good question. Are there others? Questions or comments? For or against? Third and final call for comments from the public? Hearing none, seeing no one seeking recognition, I will declare the public hearing portion of the meeting to be over. This is the time for council to ask any questions or make comments as desired. Anyone from council?
I think I understood you right, but on the west side, all of those wooden fences the neighbors have now will be removed and replaced with brick or some type of masonry.
Yes, the HOA president is working with the church, with all the individual property owners to replace which is no small feat, to replace all the
Right.
wooden fences with the bottom line, the decorative concrete wall that you're
But
seeing.
is that in the PD also?
Yes, the requirement for the wall is in the PD.
Thank
Why,
you.
why would they replace and not just put a new wall? That way you don't have to involve homeowners and mess up their stuff, just do their own wall.
Well, they want it.
Yes, and I would say from a staff perspective, having a little small corridor with high grass and rodents and trash and debris and so forth is not preferred.
As long as everybody's agreeing to do it along that way, you don't have any residential owners not wanting to do it.
No, and originally we had, because of the complexities that can be involved with working with all the individual property owners, we had discussed with them replacing the wood fences and dense evergreen shrubs. But after consultation with the HOA president and the church, they feel confident that they're going to be able to get approval from the neighbors to replace the fences with the wall.
Have they talked to the neighbor on the north side? I see that they're just doing a wood fence on that. Is it just because they didn't talk to them, or?
No, because that was the original request, and they're not in Georgetown HOA. And it stands to reason that there is a potential that particular house could in the future become non-residential, and so screening it with the wall doesn't seem necessarily practical, I don't think.
I kind of see it on the other. I feel like because Georgetown's in an HOA, they're getting special privileges, but the resident on the north is not, because they're not in an HOA.
I mean, you're
No,
also looking at it
what
like,
it is.
well, you're also looking at one house with the ability to come in and make their claim. We had how many meetings on this? Public meetings?
Yes, sir.
How many?
We had one public hearing at the Planning and Zoning Commission, and
So they had the ability to come make their
Okay, well,
claim.
my question was, y'all reached out to the HOA at Georgetown. Did you reach out to the property owner on the
No,
north?
no, no. Josh Moore reached out and
I'm
came
not talking
in.
about Georgetown. The property on the north. Did y'all reach out to them?
we notified the owner, not the renter, but the owner of the property of this particular request.
So not the owner of the
And
property.
that wasn't the no.
We notified the owner
Okay,
via letter and did not receive any response back.
Okay.
thank you.
Thanks. Any other questions or comments from council? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
I'll second it.
Councilman Thomas,
I feel targeted. I make a motion to approve the rezoning request.
second. And a second from, was that Marla?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I said
Angelica.
I said it, but Angelica can have it.
It is Angelica with the second for that. Any further discussion regarding the motion to approve? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? That motion carries unanimously. Welcome to Van Alstyne. We're delighted to have you all here. And best wishes with your construction project. And
Well, can I ask a question real quick on that?
yes, Councilman Neal.
About how long will it take from now that y'all got this approval to building up and, I mean, just, I know you're not gonna know the exact date, but just estimate.
We've got it budgeted to go to construction next year, and it'll take probably about 365 days to.
When you say next year, what time next year?
Well, the funding will come available in January.
Okay.
So
y'all are gonna move relatively.
After that.
Y'all are gonna move relatively
After
quick.
we
then.
have that building permit, so we
Yeah.
have to go through that process.
Okay.
I do love the optimism of 290 parking spaces, so we look forward to seeing your meeting house filled.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Brings us to item 6, consent agenda. We have a request to remove items A, Alpha, and E, Echo from the consent agenda. Are there any other requests from council to remove anything from the consent agenda?
J and K.
J and K are pulled off the
Excuse me, Mr.
consent.
Mayor. I have a question on the church thing, by chance. I know I don't know to speak up. What about traffic on a Sunday morning going in and out of there?
Yeah, I think that was discussed at the P&Z meeting.
Sorry.
Thanks for your comment.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to pull off Alpha, Echo, Juliet, and Kilo. Anything else we're going to pull off consent? Hearing none, all would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda minus A, E, J, and K.
I make a motion.
Dusty's moved to approve. Is there a second? And the second from Katrina. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed or abstaining? That motion carries unanimously. Item A, I believe Councilwoman Arsenal has pulled it off because she was not at the last meeting and is not comfortable approving minutes. Is there any other discussion on item A?
Make a motion to approve, Lazar.
Got a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Councilman Thomas. All in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed or abstaining?
Abstaining.
Yeah, that motion carries 6 votes to 0 with 1 abstention from Katrina. Item E, approve a third amendment to development agreement between Rislin Mantua LLC and its assignees, collectively as developers in the city of Van Alstyne regarding fire station site cost, firefighting vehicles, police and firefighting fees, and related equipment, and developer improved parks and open space. I believe the city manager has a few comments. And Katrina, I think this was, did you have anything specific you wanted to talk about?
Mostly about the part about the ladder truck and what exactly they would have to provide, and if they're not the first 4-story building, how much would they have to contribute to a ladder truck? It
We
didn't
have
seem
not
that it was.
purchased the ladder truck. Let me go through
Yeah,
my
I know.
presentation real quickly, because I anticipated a few questions on this development revision. The current amendment addresses a number of topics on the development agreement. It formally acknowledges the $1.3 million that Rislin paid to the city approximately 2 years ago, and we purchased new equipment with that money at that time. We did not purchase a ladder truck at that time, so the responsibility for a ladder truck still remains with the individual that builds the very first structure more than 4 stories in height. Did that answer your question?
Where is that written? Is there an ordinance that says that? Because I was told before that that was the case, and then I was later told that there's no ordinance or anything saying that.
No, it is contained.
I know it's in here, but that's for Mantua only, not for any company building a 4-story building.
It's contained within our development agreement with Mantua and MM Mantua. So the city of Van Alstyne and Mantua have that understanding and responsibility.
But if I understand your comment, if somebody outside of Mantua were to come in and build a building, it would be currently incumbent upon the city to provide that fire and protection.
Well, it says in here that Mantua would, if they weren't the first one to build the 4-story building, they would have to contribute to a ladder truck. That's very vague. What would they contribute, and how much is a ladder truck?
It's proportional to the amount of land mass. There's a calculation that's listed in that development agreement, as to how we determine that. And if it will help, I can't give you that tonight. I will get that data together and provide it to you.
I don't see that in here.
Okay, I read it in there, I'll see if I can find it in a bit, but,
Councilmember, you may be referring to section 391 as amended. There is a calculation to reimburse the city a percentage of the total cost of the ladder truck derived from a calculation of the number of acres located in the districts compared to the number of acres in the city's corporate limits served by the fire departments, with the districts being defined as the districts subject to the Mantua agreement. So it'll be a percentage of the city's total acreage versus those in the district in a pro rata calculation there.
If we
So
didn't
their
get that-
total acreage,
Their total acreage.
all
subject to
County,
the-
Grayson County, all of that?
The districts, whatever is included in the districts over the total acreage of the city, in the city limits, and that percentage would be the amount of contribution.
okay? Okay. Mr. Jones, you've got other, I think, clarifications.
This also formalizes an agreement whereby Brisland, Mantua, and MA Mantua will pay a per lot fee of $750 by way of, at the time of permit, that will be escrowed for future development of a fire station within that development. It provides a 2-acre piece of land within the Mantua development. The land is provided fee simple to the city by special warranty deed, and it's a commitment to work with the city to annex that property into the city limits. It will remain in the mud, but will be annexed within the city. Additionally, it provides a 40-acre park containing soccer, baseball, and softball fields, and additional amenities such as a playground, restroom, and improvements that are being made to the green space that's there. Currently, the development agreement at the stage of 1,000 building permits will build 2 softball fields. At the point of reaching 2,000 building permits, it builds 2 baseball fields. And at 3,000 building permits, it builds 2 soccer fields. I talked to Brisland yesterday. They're willing to change the order of development, so if City Council were to want soccer fields first, because we've acquired a baseball and softball field, they're willing to rearrange this to meet the city's needs. Upon completion, each section of this park will be turned over to the city, and the city can immediately start using the development. Currently, we have 482 homes on the ground within the Brisland development. We need 1,000 before it triggers that first stage. Brisland is currently working on 516 lots between their 3A, 3B, and 3C development. And American Centurion, their portion of the Mantua development that they have acquired also counts against this number. Their phase 1 is a 600 lot development, so it's very realistic if interest rates tick down a little bit, that in the next 18 months or so we could be at the very first trigger point to start that park. I think that's all I have on item E.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Any other questions from council regarding item E on the consent agenda?
I do.
Yes, sir.
Do we get to sit down at the table for that park when it comes to building it out or design
Yes, sir.
purposes? Okay. I didn't see that in there. I just didn't know if that was a part of it where city gets to actually sit down and say, we don't want you to just throw 2 grassy soccer fields out there. And
No, we have a very good relationship with Michael, and he's been very open in allowing us to participate in the early stages of, consideration as to what it's going to be, and we'll be involved in the design process.
So the city will pay for the maintenance, and it'll be owned still by Mantua?
It will be turned over to the city fee simple, just like the fire station will be. It will be a public park once it's complete.
So can we annex that portion? Or
That's
is
correct.
just the role of Mantua?
It's what we're doing with the fire station as well.
Other questions or comments regarding item E on the consent agenda? Thank you, Wayne. Any other questions? Yep. I would entertain a motion regarding item E.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve from Dusty. Is
I'll
there a
second it.
Second from Ryan. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed or abstaining? Item E carries, motion to approve carries unanimously. Item J, approve a resolution approving a contract with Team Zach for development pro forma services and authorizing the city manager to sign any necessary documents. Marva.
Just wanting some more detail on what and why and all that fun stuff. Why are we, I'm gonna go back to it because I had notes on it.
I think knowledge is the reason why we're asking for this particular agreement to be approved, and I do have a representative here that can speak to that specifically. But I will tell you, the city is in early discussions with UCD, the developer that has the 100 acres worth of land on the west side of Highway 75, on both sides of FM 121, under contract, and they are working on doing their due diligence to secure potential retailers to occupy that space. And at some point, they'll enter into an agreement or escrow on that land. Right now, it's due diligence. But I know during the course of this process that there will be some negotiations to be had with certain retailers. And in order to do that, city staff as well as council will need to be educated on what revenue opportunity is going to be generated from whatever site plan is developed. So if they determine 3 or 4 major retailers, this particular organization specializes in being able to look at those retailers and examine what kind of sales tax generation, property tax generation, and all the associated costs with supporting that development will be, so we know what kind of incentive package we can offer and still remain profitable. That makes sense? So that's why we're doing it. And if it's all right, I would like to invite Robert Hanna up for a second to speak to you about the services that they offer and a little bit about their background.
Very good. Mr. Hanna, welcome. You're recognized, sir.
Thank you all so much, Mayor and Council. My name is Robert Hanna. I'm the President of Strategic Services for Zach Tax, or Team Zach. I'm a retired city manager. Spent 25 years in local government. I used Zach Tax in my career to analyze just some of the very same things that Mr. Jones has asked or suggested that y'all look at doing today. We have going in on about 250 sales tax and property tax clients and about another 40 to 50 financial analysis or feasibility study clients. So we're coming up with 300 clients across the state of Texas. Those clients range from 1,000 population to one of our largest cities of the state of Texas, City of Fort Worth. And so what we do is we serve as a sales tax data analytics firm or a property tax data analytics firm. So we get the confidential sales tax numbers from the comptroller through the partnerships that we have with our client cities. That information is highly confidential. We never release it to anybody except for the city representatives who are entitled to see it. But if you have a retailer, say you had a sandwich shop or burger shop, and they came in and said, hey, we're going to generate 10x for you, we'll be able to tell you if they're truthful or not. So you'll be able to understand where you need to come in at from a negotiation standpoint. You want to make sure you're armed with the data that you need to make strong and good decisions for your community.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
In the contract with our city or your clients, is it a stated length in the contract, or is it as you go? Like, how do y'all work in that scope?
Yeah, this particular contract is a project-based contract. So when the project's over, we
with
will-
UCD and what we're doing with that. And so whether that lasts 3 months or 12 months, y'all are going to be here until that project's
We're here
over.
for you. That's right, sir.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you for your time.
The cost of that, as I read, was
That's
$10,000
correct.
for the one time, for the duration of the
One-time lump
contract?
sum fee, that's right, sir.
Okay, and with the option of we could buy more, and I saw some fees in there associated with which type of expertise we need.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else regarding item J? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion regarding item J.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Ryan has moved to approve. Marla has seconded the motion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed or abstaining? That motion carries 7 votes to 0. Item K, approve an ordinance amending the city's Code of Ordinances, Chapter 34, Solid Waste, by deleting Section 34-1, Dumping Prohibited, and adding Article 1 in general and Article 2, Illegal Dumping, in Chapter 20, Health and Public Welfare. Councilwoman Butler. Thank you, Kim.
I just wanted to kind of have whoever do this up, if you can just kind of, because I like it better when we have the line throughs and it says exactly what's changing here and there. So I know that we want clearer language, but I'd like to know more.
Okay, just generally speaking, it's kind of I would consider a minor amendment to really clarify the responsible party for illegal dumping and defining what illegal dumping is. So we currently do have a dumping prohibited section. It's just void of any real specifics on who's the responsible party and manners in which illegal dumping occurs, and also penalties that are associated to it. So it really just provides definitions for enforcement of illegal dumping.
Is it, because I see we have our definitions of what we're considering is, illegal, private property, public property, all that kind of fun stuff, but it does also mention in here about having hazardous waste. Are we considering something in here mentioned about appliances and things? I don't want to see us going after homeowners that maybe just put a fridge outside for a little bit or whatever. I'm trying to clarify, what are we going after here when it comes to the revision?
We essentially haven't substantively changed what illegal dumping is. We've just defined our ability to identify who's doing the dumping and what the penalties are for it. So nothing has changed in terms of what illegal dumping is as it currently exists today. It just provides us an opportunity to know who should we send notices to and what the penalties are for. We're not changing any codes related to what illegal dumping actually is and where it is and how it's done.
Okay. Was it always considered a misdemeanor? Where there would be, or was it just a fine in the past?
It's always, I believe it's always been a Class C misdemeanor. This one does have the $4,000 fine. I actually took a look at that because generally Class C misdemeanors are either going to be $500 or $2,000 for health, safety, and welfare. I had not seen the $4,000 before, but I double checked that, and under state law, illegal dumping is unique in that it does enable a $4,000 fine, so that is consistent with state law. The definition of illegal dumping also, I don't think that this would, to address the council member's concern, I don't think this would expand the liability of the homeowner, because illegal dumping by definition is without the consent of the property owner or without lawful authority. So this wouldn't apply to, for example, a homeowner putting something on their own property, because they would by definition have their own permission. There could be an outdoor storage or other violation, but it wouldn't be covered by what's before you tonight. And this is, like I said, I've reviewed it. It looks fairly straightforward. It does establish clear criminal responsibility for intentional, knowing, reckless, or with criminal negligence, which helps clarify what's happening in the municipal court for the prosecutor as well.
Okay.
Thanks, David.
I just want to clarify that piece, make sure nothing,
Very
I
good.
wasn't missing anything on it.
Okay, other questions or concerns regarding item K? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Angelica has moved to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Councilman Neal. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed or abstaining? That motion carries unanimously. Individual consideration items, item 7 on our agenda, item A, 7A. A little background, we are members, City of Texas Municipal League, and we are in Region 13. And there is a director election happening at this time. So item A is consider and act upon a resolution voting for a Texas Municipal League Region 13 director to serve a term beginning October 31 of this year and ending October 15th of 2027. 4 candidates have stepped forward. You have their bios in your packet. Crystal Chisholm's Mayor Pro Tem of DeSoto, Stanley Jaglowski, Council Member Lancaster, I always mispronounce his name, I've met him before actually. John Lopez, Council Member Grand Prairie, and Wes Mays, Mayor, City of Capel. Anybody have any preferences from those candidates that you wish to nominate, or they've been nominated, you wish to cast our ballots for?
Didn't we already do this?
No, we have not in TML.
We sent our votes in, right?
I don't believe so.
It may be for
Last year.
Yeah, it may be for the Grayson County Central Appraisal District.
Yeah, I think that's next on the
That's
agenda.
next.
Appraisal district. but- Yeah.
I'll make a motion for the incumbent, Mr. Jaglowski.
Got a motion to cast our ballot with Stanley Jaglowski. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Katrina, I think, seconded that originally. Got a motion and a second to cast our ballot for TML Region 13 Director Stanley Jaglowski, Council Member, City of Lancaster. Thank you. Jaglowski.
Mr. J, just Mr.
Thank
J.
you. Stanley. Yes. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? That motion carries 7 votes to 0. Item B on our individual consideration, consider and act upon a resolution nominating up to 2 persons for Grayson Central Appraisal District GCAD Board of Directors. This was on our agenda last time and we tabled it. We're up against the deadline to nominate. The persons who currently hold those seats are Mr. Brad Morgan and Mr. Charlie Williams. Mr. Williams, a Van Alstyne resident. So, having said that, would entertain discussion or a motion regarding the Grayson County Appraisal District. If Commissioner Marr were here, he would want me to say, even though it's labeled Grayson County, the county actually has nothing to do with it. It is a state body that appraises property in Grayson County under state guidelines.
I do have a question.
Yes.
If anyone has reached out, or I don't even know, because I did put it out there to see if anybody was interested. I didn't hear from anyone. I didn't know if the city heard from anyone, or I think they thought they had to go to.
I had conversation with my neighbor, full disclosure, Charlie Williams, and Charlie said he is more than willing to serve 1 more term.
Got my vote.
It was a thankless job, no doubt, as you can imagine. Any other questions or comments or motions?
We're nominating, that's our.
It's a nomination, it'll come back, all the nominees will come to us for a vote. I
Okay,
think we
that's
have 28 votes, it says here out of a total of 2,000 in the county. We get a little more than 1% of the votes.
All right, I'll make a motion to nominate Charlie Williams.
Got a motion to nominate Charlie Williams. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Well, there's language up there too.
Oh, I gotta do the language?
Apparently.
You can nominate up to 2, so you can nominate Charlie Williams and leave it, you can nominate
Oh, yeah,
a second
because
person.
our votes then would get split, right?
No,
this is
just
just to put
nominate.
them, this is just to put them on the ballot.
All right, I'll nominate both Charlie Williams and Brad Morgan.
We got a motion to nominate Charlie Williams and Brad Morgan. Is there a second? Second from Mr. Thomas, Councilman Thomas. Any further discussion? All in favor of that motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed or abstaining? That motion carries unanimously. Again, we'll see all of the nominees across the county come back to us, I believe, next month. We can cast our votes at that time. Item C, consider and act upon a preliminary site plan for multiple retail and commercial uses, Kelly Lane Commercial bound by US 75, North Henry Hines Expressway, Kelly Lane, and Panther Parkway in the City of Van Alstyne's extraterritorial jurisdiction, subject to conditions. Alex?
Thank you very much. I will kind of provide a brief summary of this request. It's been ongoing for a period of time. It has been considered by the Planning and Zoning Commission in the past, and I'll just start by saying up front that the Planning and Zoning Commission approval was subject to a traffic impact analysis, and so since the Planning and Zoning Commission's recommended approval and now a traffic impact analysis has been conducted, we actually have two. I think you're lucky. Not only are you blessed with one traffic engineer, but I believe there may be two in attendance for you this evening. So this evening I'm going to provide just a very brief overview of the plan, and then I'm going to turn it over to the traffic engineers to explain some of the requirements and obligations related to Kelly Lane, which I know may be of interest.
The P&Z also was subject to approval, but not in favor of the hotel, correct?
Yes, the formal recommendation by the Planning and Zoning Commission was subject to a traffic impact analysis, as well as removal of the hotel. The preliminary site plan is shown on the screen here. The very far left building, which is hard to see for the audience, is a hotel. Although the Commission did recommend that the hotel be removed from this site plan, it has not been removed. The development agreement, which I'll get into, does allow for a hotel use on the property in accordance with the development standards of the development agreement, which I think was alluded to just this evening related to a ladder truck and so forth. So they've opted to leave that particular building on the site plan. So just to recap, the property is located outside the city limits. It is located in the municipal utility district, the Mantuate MUD, and it's subject to not the city zoning but to the development agreement. In the upper right picture is representative of the current development plan that's located within the development agreement. So this plan really does primarily set about to ensure that the development standards within the development agreement are being satisfied. So land uses, setbacks, parking, and so forth. This plan does depict all of those components that are in accordance with the development agreement. It does include, the plan is inclusive of 161,000 square feet of various commercial uses, including retail, office, ER, medical, drive-through restaurant, gas station, and as well as the hotel that it was mentioned. The city has received plans for a 7-Eleven gas station at the far south end of the property, which on this screen is on the very far right. You may have also noticed some construction going out on the property. The developer did receive authorization to begin construction on the detention pond, which is also on the far south end of the property, as well as a sanitary sewer line. So with that, that's an overview of the site within the site, so to speak, related to the land uses and development standards. And now I'd like to invite the developer's traffic engineer to come up just to talk about some of the engineering components and aspects of this site that were discovered through the traffic impact analysis.
Can I ask you something? Who did that traffic impact analysis, the city or the developer?
So I believe you'll hear from the developer's engineer, Kimley Horn, who's on the development side, that conducted the traffic impact analysis. And then the city has a review traffic engineer that has reviewed the findings of the developer's traffic engineer to substantiate the findings. And I do know that they went back and forth with shared comments and red lines to ensure that the findings were appropriate from a traffic engineering standpoint. Thanks, Alex. Yes, you're welcome. Thank you. This is the only slide I have for you.
Yeah, no worries.
Good evening. I'm Mason Schoaf. I'm the traffic engineer for the developer, and just to discuss some of the findings. And I know there's been some concerns, especially along Kelly Lane. I just wanted to quickly highlight our process and the results that went through it. So, pretty high level. So we analyzed pretty much all the adjacent intersections that were nearby. We analyzed the Panther Parkway interchange with US 75. The county road to the south, and then we also looked at Village Parkway, Womack Way, and Thompson Drive, as well as all the driveways along Kelly Lane. And as you can see, there's 3 driveways that will be connecting to the frontage road of US 75. From there, we used ITE, the Institute of Transportation Engineers, high-level traffic projections for trips that would be generated for all these types of land uses. So we have all the land uses within the property, and as Alex was mentioning, a lot of different, we have ER and gas station, a couple of commercial sites, office space, and then the hotel as well, and projected out that traffic through our build-out year. And our build-out year we used for a five-year build-out, so 2030 was our build-out year. With that, we analyzed all the intersections to see how they operate in the future in existing conditions. And we took into account all of what TxDOT will eventually help improve for the Panther Parkway interchange. And as you guys have noticed in the last couple of months as well, the swapping of the frontage roads being one way as well, which the traffic study takes that into effect as well. From there, we came up with the conclusions that turn lanes are going to be warranted along all of those driveways that you can see along Kelly Lane. They'll need left turn lanes. Right turn lanes are not warranted based off of the city and county requirements or even TxDOT requirements. So all those green arrows will indicate left turn lanes that are anticipated to be constructed as part of the project. The orange arrows there are right turn lanes, or right turns. Only those first 2 on the very right of them are warranted based off of TxDOT's criteria. Those will also have deceleration lanes to get into the site. There were also other concerns about cut-through traffic, the distribution of the traffic that we are anticipating throughout the region. We have some going along Kelly Lane, going along Panther Parkway on either side. So we distributed it throughout the system to indicate what would happen in the future. So from there, we also received comments to look at the capacity of Kelly Lane, and I know that's been a potential concern for many of others. And we've indicated in the traffic study that the 2 lanes with turn lanes provide sufficient capacity through a horizon year. And what horizon year means is for TxDOT, since we're going to be connecting to a TxDOT road, they require a 10-year horizon for this type of development. So we looked at the year 2040, so 15 years ahead, with background growth rate of existing traffic, all the site traffic distributed throughout, and Kelly Lane can be provided sufficient capacity with 2 lanes with turn lanes. I know there's been concerns about that, and through all of our projections, that's what we're seeing.
When you say 2 lanes with turn lanes, are you talking about 2 concrete lanes with turn lanes, or are you talking about Kelly Lane in the current state that it's in right now?
Concrete or asphalt, when you provide turn lanes, it increases the capacity of a road. When you have a divide and a median, it provides a little bit more capacity than
in that 200-yard, 300-yard area, but it doesn't provide for capacity a mile down when everybody's going to be taking a left and going north on Kelly Lane into the neighborhoods, the park, into the city, and everything like that.
Well, we have the existing traffic. We have it all the way from Village Parkway. We collected the counts and have them grown out at a 5% rate for 10 years, and then even more up to our 2040 year. So that's with all the background growth in the area, with any adjacent areas that could be developed. We're seeing that it provides sufficient capacity for turn lanes.
I'm talking about just in the condition that the road's in right now. That right there is asphalt, and that was recently done 3 years ago, and it looks like it does right now with the current capacity that's on it right now. Yeah. I understand if it's a concrete with maybe a divide and turn lanes and you have proper sewage and water runoff and everything like that.
Yes. Yeah.
But if you're going to build this and you're only going to care about the 200 to 300 yards that are there and add just 5 turn lanes into your development, and then just leave the rest for it to, do what it's going to do, then that road's gone. Not just where you're at, but that road's gone all the way down to Dallas Street. And you got a park down there that we're building. You got a ton of acreage on the west side of Kelly that is going to be developed out to as well. But you're talking about adding a pretty busy point of entry and exit in commercial development at a spot where everybody exits. And I get why you're doing it because that's a good place for it to be. But when you're talking about just a traffic study based on what it's going to project out 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years from now, I live off Kelly Lane. I see what it is. The road lasts about 2 years as asphalt.
Well, yeah. I would definitely agree. Yeah, with concrete, the sustainability of it would definitely last longer. The capacity in a traffic sense, those roads would produce more. Would be able to hold more capacity with the concrete for sure.
Yeah. So is that taken into effect in the traffic study? Is that what is projected on y'all's portion right here? How does that look when it comes to building this out? Are you just going to say, hey, I'm going to build 5 concrete turn lanes off of the current Kelly Road that's there, and that's all we're doing? What's happening with that portion of Kelly and then the future of Kelly moving forward as you start building all this out over the next 5 years?
Yeah, and that's been the discussion with the city and Alex. I think I'll default, I guess, on the conversations on what is to be constructed along Kelly Lane and the conversations of that, if you want to elaborate any more on that.
I guess I need somebody to elaborate because if there's no intention to do anything other than add an additional width to the road so you can have a turn lane, that's not going to work. That won't cut it.
Can I ask how you did a traffic impact analysis and said for the purpose of this study, Kelly Lane was classified as a 2-lane divided collector roadway?
Yeah.
On what planet is that a 2-lane divided anything?
Yeah, no, it would be in the future with the turn.
But it's not now, and your study is now. How are you going to tell us we don't need any improvements based on a 2-lane divided when it's not a 2-lane divided? We can't just pick what the road is. It has to be what it is. And what it is a very small, barely get 2 trucks through it.
Busy road.
This is just crazy to me.
And the other thing, just even driving here to this council meeting, I saw 5 people walking down Kelly Lane to go to the park because we don't have sidewalks there because concrete costs an arm and a leg and it's hard to get that done. So as a developer coming in and doing a traffic study, you also have, how many homes are in Georgetown overall? 570 homes. How many homes are across the street?
Maybe 70.
70, and there's going to be 120. So we're talking about 700 homes within 3/4 of a mile of this development. And that's not even including the developments that are coming, that are coming down this road. So I'm just saying, you want to build it out, and that's fine. And I get why you're building it, but you got to also look at the big picture for us. And if you're not going to build us a roadway, or at least take that into consideration when you're building the project, then you're going to get a ton of people crapping all over this because that's shit. And we don't want that.
Well, it also says in here, the developer will be paying roadway escrow funds in lieu of any road improvements for the first 2 developments. So you're going to put an ER and a 7-Eleven in there, and you're saying Kelly is adequate. And that I don't understand.
Yeah, that doesn't work either.
Yeah, and that's been the discussions with city staff about the escrow account or the construction and.
As I understand it, that part is our option. Is that correct? We could take the money in escrow, or we could have the developer build it
For their
at this
side.
time. I agree.
Yeah, we'd have to look at what the development agreement says if it modifies it, but generally, those are decisions that can be worked out between the city and the developer for whether they're going to construct at this point or whether it would be more advantageous to escrow it as part of a larger road improvement
I understand concerns about traffic flow, but I think we shouldn't get hung up on the question of whether it's escrow or it's built on day one. Either way, the city can use the money, whether the developer does it or we do it, the money's there. Alex, you want to correct what I just said?
I'll jump in. And I don't know, Mayor, I don't want to correct anything, but I guess I'll just provide a bit of context because as I stated, the TIA has been going, ongoing and has been received, which is why this plan is before you this evening. The developer for the mud is in attendance as well. One thing I'll note on this particular exhibit is, as the mayor stated, it is correct. It is a choice, and I'm sure David may check whether or not the road's constructed or roadway funds are escrowed. And so in this day and age, working with Lane and Jennifer, we've been trying to get roads constructed by developers when development occurs. I mean, we have enough roads that we need to fund and build on our own. When a developer comes in, it's our intent to have them build the road. I believe the developer had discussions in the past and had been communicated that escrow funds would be sufficient in this case. However, they haven't designed any of the road, and so at this point they're essentially seeking to pursue the 7-Eleven, the ER, and I'll let the developer jump in and correct me if they need to, without the construction of the roadway, although that is the preferred route for the city at this point in time, whereas it may not have been some time ago. And then the other complexity to this, as you can see with the yellow line, is that half of the road is a mud road. So we have, just to share with you some of our deliberations, taking escrow funds for those for a mud district road is concerning. So my intention this evening was to share the plan for the site plan, but we have a lot of work to do with the developer, our attorney, and others to make sure that we do get a road that functions for the city. We're not, we want to make sure that this is functional and we have a cooperative relationship with the developer.
Yeah, and I understand that, and I understand that this council can't do anything about what is going in that particular area because it's a part of the mud. Like, we have no say, but I wanted to be on the record that the developer, if they're here, that you understand that, like, there's 700 homes, people walking to parks, there's all kinds of stuff that we already deal with 18-wheelers, trucks, and stuff trying to go through and messing up the only pavement that we have. That's really difficult for even cars to pass each other on that road. It's dangerous at night. People can't get to the park because they have to walk down Kelly. So I just want the developer to know that, like, that's important. Like, we know we can't stop what you're putting there. I mean, heck, I don't know why you're putting a hotel there, but we can't stop it. Put a road in. Like, pay the money, put a freaking road in, and allow for people to be able to get in and out of your development that's going to make money, and it's going to do its job for you, for citizens that live right behind that, for them to get in and out of the development, get to the park safely, be able to walk on the road, have proper lighting, and do what's best for Van Alstyne. And I want to be on the record because if you don't, everybody's going to point the finger at you, and it's not going to be good.
Yeah.
The other thing is that is a school route. So Kelly is completely backed up anytime there's school pickup or drop off.
Yeah, 'cause the high school's
It's
on
a
that
mess,
side.
a mess. And I don't know if your study reflected that or not, but if you drive through there at 3 o'clock, or I don't know, I don't have kids in that school, but I avoid that road because of the school.
Yeah.
That's without businesses there.
Yeah.
Well, hell, going out at 7:30 in the morning just to try to get across the highway to go to the high school, you're backed up all the way on Kelly, right in front of all your turn lanes, your beautiful turn lanes.
And you have the only two-way access road right from where the 7-Eleven will be, just that little bitty bit. Do you not think that's...
Yeah, it's the only way you go left to get out to County Line.
I can talk a little bit more on that. And just to clarify as well, the development is wanting to, they understand the traffic concerns and are wanting to put in the turn lanes. And the turn lanes are in accordance, as in, like, putting in turn lanes with a median increases capacity. So it would be the reconstruction of that road with medians. And I just want to clarify that. So either that being, that's the discussion that Alex was saying, either that being an escrow or that conversation is still underway. But in a traffic sense, and I just want to talk about the traffic sense, the 2 lanes with a median provides more capacity than what it is today. So 2 lanes with a median provides a lot more capacity than just 2 lanes.
No, I get that.
And that's with we're projecting out to 2040, so 15 years of growth. And that's understanding with the west side and any other developments in the area, we have a pretty high growth rate because you guys have had a lot of growth in the last couple of years. So that takes into account all of that existing traffic growing out. There's some mitigations, and obviously we'll have to work with TxDOT because TxDOT does have a very high preliminary schematic of realigning pretty much anything, going north. So the whole interchange of Panther is getting rearranged, so the frontage road won't be so close to Panther, or won't be connecting to Kelly in the future. That's in the appendix of the report. We have a little screenshot of that. So Kelly Lane will eventually actually just tee up with Panther, and the frontage roads will come a little bit more closer instead of bowing out to where they are out today. So that, our traffic study did take into account to that. So TxDOT's timeline obviously is very unknown. Could be.
So that brings me to that question is, and I'm fine, if you're gonna build out what you just said there, as you're building out the development, then okay, like, that's good. We want a middle lane divided with turn lanes, concrete road. If we can make that work and get that in the plans, then yay, let's do that. As for when TxDOT is gonna actually connect those feeders directly to Panther Parkway, that we don't know when that's going to be. So you're talking about, what if we go 5 years and you've got a 7-Eleven, an ER, and 5 retail spaces that are in place there? How are you getting people off of Kelly to go left there, to go back to County Line or Panther Parkway, and to be able to go over Panther Parkway? Because you're going to have so many people exiting and coming as they go without a stop sign or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, right now, it functions as just a stop sign. They have to yield to the frontage road. In our traffic study, we have it showing eventually putting in a right turn lane to alleviate some of the backup of that left will help it get to operable or acceptable level of service, is what we call it.
But right's fine, like right.
Yeah, right's fine.
Going left.
It more alleviates so they're not all in one lane.
Yeah,
and that's also part of the that was some of the comments from the reviewer from the city as well.
I know, but you didn't answer what are you going to do for the people that need to go left?
It would still be a stop sign because it's an interim condition, and TxDOT will be realigning it in the future. And there will be some delay, and it's too close to put in a signal, and a temporary condition as well wouldn't make sense to put in a signal. Obviously, that could alleviate things with temporary signals, but with that being so close to Panther Parkway and they'll always stop there until that's fully signalized, and being able to coordinate with TxDOT, it's hard to do really much besides the stop sign there.
I have a question. I just wanted to go back to Alex and find out why are we talking or thinking about escrow on this one when I don't think we've done that before.
I think one concern is the city can probably, I'm not sure the city can take escrow for a road that's not in its jurisdiction to build. So, and we're subject to, of course, rough proportionality of how much is this development going to cause a need for more roads.
I'm even more confused. I thought we said that's what you were wanting to do, is do an escrow, but now we can't do an escrow because we don't.
No, well, no, I don't have that's a policy decision, so I don't have a sort of recommendation one way or the other in that, except that to the extent that the road construction is in the Grayson County area or the Mud area, the city, that would go to the entity that's responsible for building that road.
All right, Alex, why are we doing escrow then? Did I misunderstand you a little bit ago when you said about escrowing?
Yes, so the development agreement defers to the subdivision ordinance, like the mayor said, which allows for either construction or escrow. So that's been sort of the standing practice within the city. I will say this is our first commercial development in the mud specifically, and so the realization that the escrow funds would be for a mud road is somewhat new to us, and it's something that has occurred to us pretty recently. So we've been talking with the developer. So up until now, we have been contemplating doing escrow. Now, if for some reason David has determined that may not be.
I think the city could escrow for the portion of the road that's within the city limits, where the city would ultimately be responsible for constructing it. So
the blue line?
Correct. Yeah, for the blue line area. So
why don't we just, why are we making it messy? Why is it messy? Why are we not just saying, do the road and be done? Why are we escrowing and doing it?
Because it's not our road.
I know that, I know that.
All right, hold on a second.
That's why we should be requesting.
The way I read this was that any portion to the city would be that portion between Thompson and McCormick, right? Which is all the city owns out there. That's it. We don't own anything else. We don't own the mud. We don't own Kelly Lane. We don't own State Highway. We got nothing. We got no skin in this game except for that one little blue piece right there.
That's correct.
And that's just the way the chips fall. And we don't get property taxes off this because it's in the mud. We get a portion of the sales tax.
Yes.
And by the grace of God, maybe we could implement the hotel tax we've never implemented before that the city has an ordinance on. So I'm fine with the hotel. So really there's nothing we can do about this except for that one little blue part on the west side. And based on his traffic study, doesn't even affect us until he builds out to about Thompson.
Oh, I know.
That's it.
Oh, I know. I just want people to know.
Yeah, so that, yeah,
Where's the finger get pointed every time?
So, oh no, the finger's always gonna get pointed at us. Absolutely. So, I just want to make it crystal clear without being around the bush. That's all we got.
That's a good summary, and that may inform the decision to escrow because given, if you look at the development in its entirety, and the city's gonna get that portion for the blue line only, that may not construct a large amount of road. So that may be a policy decision where the city says, okay, we would get 200 yards. I don't know what that amount would be.
Oh, but absolutely. We'd be more than happy to take that money, stick it in the bank, and let it sit in escrow for 7 years before we had to build something to make.
That may inform the decision to escrow that.
So, let me ask this, what does the city's thoroughfare plan show for Kelly Lane?
The 2003 thoroughfare plan?
No, the one we're working on now. What are we working towards for Kelly?
I believe when I looked at it, it's a draft and it's a minor arterial, but I didn't see a cross section.
So that would be a 4-lane.
I didn't see any cross sections within the comprehensive plan.
Okay.
I'll say this, Mayor, in the midst of various conversations, we had contemplated Kelly Lane as being a 2-lane divided, 1 lane in either way with the median and turn lanes and so forth. That's not been adopted in the comprehensive plan, but a part of the study suggests that a 2-lane divided road with turn lanes, left turn lanes, potentially decel lanes and other things could provide the capacity needed to serve this development. So it's being, long story short, it's being contemplated with the comprehensive plan, and in that sort of section, so to speak, has been included in the evaluation with this traffic study. However, historically, it had been contemplated to be a 4-lane divided roadway. So we've been collecting or receiving right-of-way dedication of 90 feet. So it could be 4-lane, it could be 2-lane divided. It's yet to be totally determined.
I suspect to get that comp plan past this council, we'll want to see a 4-lane divided.
Well, I mean, 2-lane divided with concrete is, I think, like you said, sufficient enough for
I never
a
said
while, or like he said. Sorry, Mr. Mayor. Let me just ask you though, are y'all only, like, for what y'all, like with the turn lanes and everything, are y'all only talking about in the first phase of this development, just that yellow portion, building that out?
Yeah, the first phase, I believe, is just the very right 2 segments. So it would just be that little portion, but in total, it would just be the frontage of the property.
On Kelly Lane, right? So not the green part that's in the county, not the blue part or anything like that. So you would essentially just make concrete turn lanes into the asphalt that's already there.
Yeah, that's currently under design. At least that option is under design, Tom, correct? Right.
Still in discussion.
Still in discussion. So,
And as for the engineering portion of it, the drainage part, because you know how Kelly Lane sits rather high and everything drains out south, would we get something that is connected or connectable for when the rest of Kelly gets built out that we can plug into, or that it's going to plug that, like, you know what I'm saying? That's going to kind of be built for the rest of Kelly Lane to be built out without us having to spend extra millions of dollars to connect into, to redig and move and, connect into it.
Yeah, and that would be in the review of the design. whatever cross-section is determined to be for Kelly Lane. And that was kind of the purpose of the traffic study as well, to reiterate that the capacity of the roadway could be provided for future conditions as well, with 2 lanes and a turn lane.
Okay, because the information that we got is not that. So what we got was for the first 2 developments, first 2 projects, whatever you're doing nothing. That's what our packet said.
And that's
what it said. The traffic impact analysis said that nothing needed to be done in order to do an ER and a 7-Eleven on Kelly. Am I misunderstanding something? Because I have it highlighted like I read it word for word. I don't understand.
No, that's the information that was included in the packet. Tom Hayes.
So, Tom Kopp and Kimberly Horn, the civil side of the house. So the discussion here tonight is, what are we doing day 1? What are we doing day 1,000? Does the pavement that's out there today, does it have the physical capacity to move the traffic? We are not talking about, what Mason's been talking about is not what is the road going to look like ultimately. He's just strictly talking about, can we get the number of trips when it comes to the development that's adjacent to the project, as well as what's coming down the road at us, as well as the build out of the project. Can the pavement handle those number of trips? And the answer to that is yes.
Which pavement?
Ultimately, the road needs to be improved. We are talking to staff as far as the mechanism to build that, because what is proposed today is just the extreme right-hand side, the little narrow part of the development.
Yeah, I know, that's why I asked.
Yeah, and we don't want, to your point, the road's been out there for a couple of years and it's starting to deteriorate. We don't want to build postage stamp improvements for you either. There are multiple stakeholders here, the county, the development, the city. All of those parties need to come together and come up with a solution to how it will be funded and ultimately built out. What we're asking for tonight is just strictly approval of the site plan to move forward to that next step. That next step would come in with detailed plans for the 7-Eleven, detailed plans for the urgent care, and the discussions between the city and the developer then would be able to continue and be locked down with those conditions of approval when we know specifically what it is we're building. Right now, it's a concept site plan. This is very likely where they're headed. It is subject to change. It's concept. Like Alex said, the MUD documents, the development agreement says there's a whole myriad of things that could be developed out there. This is the vision as of today that they would like to pursue.
Can I ask our attorney a question? Why is this even coming to us if we don't have a say and it was approved in 2008?
That's what I said.
So here's and this is a good juncture, because I was going to kind of jump in before the vote on this. So what is before council is a site plan. It's before you because state law, chapter 211, requires that it comes before you. But just like with the plat, it's similar to a plat in that council doesn't have unlimited authority to approve or deny just because you sort of like or don't like something. If basically you need to sort of compare it with the touchstones, which is your comprehensive plan and your zoning ordinances, which in this case is largely dictated by the development agreement. So it's sort of weighing it against the development agreement or looking at other extrinsic factors such as sufficiency of utilities, drainage, road access, and things like that. If council is inclined to deny it, we owe the applicant under 212.009 Texas Local Government Code a reason why, a detailed reason why that says it is denied because of this. And this is a difficult, it's usually you're legislators and you wear the legislator hat and you have unlimited sort of discretion in what you guys do, subject to state law, federal law, things like that. This one, it is almost like, it's not that. It's a ministerial, almost, or maybe pseudo-ministerial, but it's a duty where you have the development agreement and your zoning ordinances and you are checking the boxes off. If this checks all the boxes, state law mandates that the site plan be approved. The reason it is coming before you, even though there's a development agreement, is because of that Texas Local Government Code that says this body this is the way this comes before the body for approval, denial, or approval with conditions.
So development agreement, checkbox, traffic study, checkbox.
Hand side.
Hand study, right?
Yes, in effect, this is, if it does meet all those things, then yes, you have the
Which they've
administrative
done.
authority to approve.
And I understand that there's way more that comes after this, and this is,
Yeah.
believe me, I wasn't trying to get in. I just want, again, for the record, this is our first council meeting that's actually being fully recorded and sent out to the entire town. So I wanted for everybody that's on there to understand that the onus of that road and what happens to it is on y'all, not on us. So,
So let me make a comment, and I know it's preliminary plan, but my thinking is it's an open question as to the final width of Kelly Lane. And so I would want to see a site plan, whether it's preliminary or final, that leaves space for 4-lane divided Kelly Lane.
And I'll just acknowledge they're depicting 90 feet of right-of-way,
Yep.
or 45 from the center line, which would accommodate that.
Good, okay. That's my main concern, is that we don't build something so close to existing Kelly that
The
would
right
limit our
of way
options
is
in the
there,
future.
the pavement section is what's in discussion.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from council?
do we need special language on this? No? Okay, I'll make the motion to approve, even though I gave the biggest stink.
I'll say.
Got a motion from,
Even though I gave the biggest stink.
got a motion from Ryan, seconded by Lee, to approve the preliminary site
Oh.
plan.
Jim, sorry.
Can I make a comment about the hotel?
It's not a public hearing, madam.
I
So,
can't say anything,
no ma'am, it's not a public
but
hearing.
it would be very helpful.
I'll be happy to talk to you after the meeting, but it is not a public hearing. Any further comments on the motion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed or abstaining? That motion carries 7 votes to 0. City Manager's Report, item 8. Mr. Jones.
Mr. Mayor, would you mind if the scouts leave before he starts? So we don't interrupt him.
It is a school night, so we're delighted to have our scouts here tonight. We hope you enjoyed if you're in Van Alstyne ISD, we hope you enjoyed your day off. But please feel free to take your leave at this time.
Now's your time.
What did I say?
Nothing yet, I just didn't want to hear.
Thank y'all for coming.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks very much. Yes.
Thank you.
There are now seats available for those of you in the waiting area. Mr. Jones.
Work continues on the downtown streets. We anticipate completing Preston Street between Jefferson and Van Alstyne Parkway by the end of this month. Landscaping was being installed today, so if you get a chance to look at it, please do. It's shaping up very quickly. The paving of the alley behind the businesses on the south side of Marshall is complete. That's going to provide, pardon me, rear door access to those businesses that are on the south side of Marshall once we start working that street. Grading for the third parking lot being added to support the downtown businesses will commence in the next couple of weeks. Located south of the existing Main and Marshall parking lot location that we acquired from the Methodist Church. The new concrete parking lot is expected to be completed by year end. A blasting game, this $4.3 million project will widen blasting game from Waco, headed west to Graywood to a 4-lane roadway, and extend Nunnally north to connect to blasting game. A resident meeting was conducted on October 8th. I believe we had 10 residents from the neighborhood attend. That was a very good meeting conducted by our CIP manager, engineer, and contractor to present and take questions. I was told it was a very favorable meeting. The downtown entry feature, the archway feature, the sign has been completed off-site. We're waiting for Atmos to relocate a gas line on Van Alstyne Parkway. Once that's done, they have to dig a hole about 6 feet deep on both sides of the street for the footings. When the footing is complete, then we'll be able to bring the sign out and assemble it on site. Road preservation, both John Douglas and San Antonio have been patched, potholed, and road services refinished with chip seal. Spence and Redden is scheduled to receive the same, followed by Jefferson and Dallas. Ballard Road requires extensive work. I think I signed an invoice the other day for another 40 yards of road patch to be able to make that done. So we're going to be continuing to work on that probably till the end of the year and into next year. The senior center, the new senior center held its pre-construction meeting on September 24th. The contractor began October 1st working on the building in W.A. Denton. Anticipates the project to be complete in March of 2026. I'll be walking that project Thursday afternoon with the contractor just to get a feel for where we are. We're presently in the process of developing the request for a proposal for the parking lot that will provide support to both the rec center and the senior center. The public safety facility, I walked that facility this morning. Pier beams are being delivered and ready for installation. We're probably too far from seeing a foundation being poured and then the building going vertical. The city will be placing a request for a proposal for solid waste and recycling services, aka trash service to the city. That contract will be put out for bid this month, October 17th. Potential providers will be given until November 4th to turn in their questions that they may have of the city. Bids will be due back December 2nd. We'll take a couple of months to review those bids, and then we'll bring you, council, the recommendation at the February City Council meeting. For year ending September 30th, 2025, our fiscal audit is underway. We're about 35% complete with this year's audit. We're well ahead of schedule, which is very positive for our city. So I'm pleased Sherry and her team have worked very hard to make sure that it's going as smoothly as possible. As a reminder, downtown trick or treat will be on October 5th, so put on your costumes coming down. 4:30 we'll have a Halloween costume contest. I expect to see you all participating in that, and then we'll have the conga line through downtown Van Alstyne. Holiday Hangout, which is the kickoff of our holiday season. We'll host that event on Saturday, December 6th, starting at 2 p.m. We'll have a holiday parade, followed by a holiday market, and then a tree lighting at 6 o'clock that evening. So put that in your calendar and plan to be here. Thank you to Candy, Jeff, the Parks team, Police and Fire. We had a couple of great events in this past month, well attended, and we've already started planning Fall for next year. It's hard to call it Fall this year, but it was still fun, and if you attended the concert, it was a great concert. So we're catching the slogan, make Fall great again. We'll be stitching up hats for you all and looking to plan something really special. Additionally, Dusty had mentioned several months ago it'd be a good idea to really do something special for our 250th anniversary of our country, and we're putting plans together to make it really special. We've worked with the American Legion. They'll be lining Van Alstyne Parkway from Highway 75 up into our downtown with flags on both sides of the street. We will be holding a 4th of July parade, so get your floats ready. We'll be doing a concert, and we'll be doing a fireworks show. We're talking to the museum. We'll be talking to the library about doing special events. So it's a process. We're still in development. We're doing this on a shoestring budget, but I think we're going to have something really special. My city manager letter this year that was included in your package started encouraging people to go out and buy flags and hang them on their homes and on their businesses as early as possible. We don't need to wait for the 4th of July to do that. City has purchased a whole bunch of locations like you see here. I'll be providing those to you folks, as well as we'll be handing them out at our front desk to anyone that comes in to visit. So we're going to put on our patriotic hats and make it a special day. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Questions for the city manager?
Thank you.
Thank you. Brings us to item 9, mayor and council closing comments. We'll start with Angelica to give you first shot.
I just want to thank everybody for coming out to the meeting. We appreciate your attendance, and thank you, city staff, as well.
Lee?
Thank y'all for coming out. Thank you for your patience. City staff, thank y'all for everything that y'all do.
Definitely. Dusty?
Yep, what they said. Thank y'all for coming. Thanks for your work.
I want to know where I can get a little travel light like Lane has. I really want one of those.
The desk lamp with the
It's the travel. I want that. So, thanks for everybody for coming out. It's good to actually have some bodies out here paying attention to what's going on. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Ryan?
Yeah, thank you. Hopefully this will help with the live stream with people that had concerns about that last council meeting. So hopefully that will help. Thank you to all the citizens that came out. Thank you to our city staff and all of our first responders and everybody that works in the city. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to all of you all for being out here tonight. A couple of things I want to announce date-wise, time-wise. The VA Guide, formerly known as the VA Newcomers Meeting, but it's open to everyone, meets tomorrow night at the museum. I say tomorrow night, it's actually 5:30. So I think you'll have a chance to hear about some Van Alstyne history. Councilman Williams, I believe, is planning to be there to present. And the museum's always a fun place to hang out. So museum tomorrow night, 5:30. VA Guide City staff and leaders are often present. October 20th is coming up quickly. That is two things. It is the Van Alstyne Chamber of Commerce Golf Tournament. If you go to their website and in the next day or two, I believe they still have spots available for the Chamber of Commerce Golf Tournament at the Bridges, Monday the 20th. That is also the first day of early voting. The city does not have anything on the ballot this year. There's rumors that the school district may have a bond. Heard something about that somewhere. And if you live outside the city, the county is having an election as well regarding a 1.5% sales tax that would be used for refund or reimbursing cities that provide fire and EMS out in the county. So please take the time to research those bond initiatives and make your decisions. Election day is actually November 4th. That is all I have. Thank you all again for being here tonight. Thanks to the city staff. Having concluded all the business before us tonight, I will declare us adjourned at 8:19. Gavel. Gavel.